Mercedes-Benz debuted its EQ EV lineup with the EQS sedan, and now this has arrived, potentially the more important EQS SUV. It's built in America for the world, big, bold, brassy and battery only. But does it have what it takes to take on that other American EV and show the world that Mercedes is serious about electrification? Let's plug in and find out. The Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV is the brand's first ever dedicated large EV SUV, and it's promising to deliver the sort of 3-row, 7-seat emission-free experience that the Tesla Model X has had almost entirely to itself. Set to arrive down under in the second half of 2023, it will be offered initially in a 450 4MATIC guise. A higher performance 500 is earmarked for Australia, and both a 580 and even a Mercedes Maybach range-topping model are on the cards. Mercedes is being super coy on price and equipment, but this 450 with a few options is going to set you back around $270,000, or perhaps even more. The EQS SUV shares much of its EV powertrain with its sedan stablemates. Under the floor, there's a big 12-cell lithium-ion battery powering two 400-volt electric motors. There's no gearbox as such, and software monitors front and rear torque split 160 times per second to ensure you're getting exactly what you need and where. One axle can be shut down in some conditions to improve efficiency. Like many aspects of electric vehicles, the whole thing is more complex than this simple description suggests. Well, what do you reckon? It's not going to win any beauty contests, but the clever styling certainly hides the sheer size of this thing. The Mercedes EQ electric signature items are all here. Black panel grille, serious attention to detail in terms of aerodynamics, and decent overall proportions thanks to a long 3.2 metre wheelbase and compact overhangs. The big aero wheels also play a part in tricking the eye. The cabin doesn't have the airy, flat floor, spacious feel of some other EVs. I think this high centre console and even higher dash scuttle don't help. But fit and finish is what you'd expect from a $250,000 SUV. Great surfacing, both leather and vegan options, beautiful timber finishes and real aluminium. There's great storage, more USB ports than you'll ever need, and wireless charging. The latest MBUX HMI deserves a video in its own right, but the new upgraded Hey Mercedes voice assistance is as annoying as ever, but handy sometimes. The star of the new EQ cabin is the optional Hyperscreen. It runs the full width of the cabin across 3 zones, even one for the front passenger. Personally, I reckon it's more gimmick than gimme. The second row is probably the best seat in the house. You don't feel as hemmed in as the front, and there's plenty of adjustment, heaps of legroom, even when it's slid forward, plus the option of screens, seat heating and individual climate control. The seats tumble and fold electrically. They're a 40-20-40 split fold, and you get a luxury armrest with tablet and wireless charging if you tick the right box. They also deliver decent access to the third row. Average height adults will fit. Kids will have a ball. So what's it like to drive? Well, we've flown all the way here to the Rockies, so it'd be rude not to find out. There's no escaping the sheer size of this thing. Mercedes has thrown a whole bunch of driver aids and safety tech, and it's child's play to drive along, but there are times where you can't help but feel A, how big it is, and B, how heavy it is, 2,700 kilos. The electric powertrain is quiet and plenty fast enough. The EQS is not going to outrun a Tesla Model X in a straight line, not even close, but it's a level above it in almost every other regard. Steering precision, ride comfort, noise levels, and overall polish. And the Mercedes DNA is present in almost every aspect of the car's on-road performance, even in terms of how the controls feel and function. It's not an exciting drive, it is however what it says on the tin, a luxury 7-seater capable of fuss-free travel across town or across state. I don't like how high this dash is, and well, this steering wheel, there's heavy vehicles with wheels that are smaller. It's probably the biggest I've spun in a while. You can't get over how quiet this cabin is though, and it is very refined. There's no suspension noise, there's none of the whirring or the bumping that you get in some other EVs. It's certainly very, very polished. I can't see over the bonnet, and it's hard to work out exactly where the corners are. You'll use every bit of parking and camera tech Mercedes has delivered when you head into town or to your nearest high-end shopping destination. For the record, its off-road performance is much more capable than it has any right to be. This part of the EQS performance envelope is probably academic, but if it is a glimpse of how an electric powertrain can work on rough stuff, then I can't wait for the EQ G-Wagon. There's so much technology and know-how that's gone into Mercedes' new EQ EV architecture and been applied to this EQS SUV, a short video or a review can only scratch the surface. It's impressive, and the more you dig into it, the more it's clear the electrification of Mercedes is inevitable and coming fast. But while I admire that and I can appreciate the overall excellence of execution in the EQS, it's hard to get excited about this car. The packaging benefits of electric powertrains should translate to cars that not only have plenty of space, but feel spacious too. The EQS SUV feels classy, but it's bloated and almost claustrophobic from the driver's seat. I can't help but feel that given this brand new platform is intended to be a step change for Mercedes, it's almost a lost opportunity.